Big Zeus, here's the people's house. Big Zeus, go up to the gate, 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power to the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner, and I got my chains on.
Good morning.
Watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is written hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promising selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these with Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops. Power plays all day, I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Powers in the air, Zeus. We knocking on the door, Zeus. We wanna hear your soul. Yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People on them players, yeah, y'all think this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. Trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks, and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power never divides. Sitting for the block, head buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show started.
Powers in the air, it's the people's house.
It's officially showtime, all right? Another hour to learn and an hour to burn. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Back in business, back in the Thunderdome, exactly. You know exactly why we are here. We still gotta bring it.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these reps. I'm like the Terminator screaming.
Good morning, I'm back.
It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. Cars in the garage,
Just see it honestly.
full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. The algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet.
Am I right, Evan?
Benjamin Franklin is my best tweet. And if they use my ex, that mean they left me. They don't give me pause if they test me.
Ooh, I say it with my chest cause I'm needy. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Time to cook. Oh, here it goes.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
That's a lie.
That shit was radical.
Very radical.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It always hurts. It really does.
It's like deja vu.
It really does hurt.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
Oh my God, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I am your host. I'm your pilot, and you know once again exactly why we are here. We have to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons who are just hell-bent on lying their way out of a crisis, all right? The country's in a crisis, to be quite honest. If you look at the Statue of Liberty, it's crying. She's crying, and it's because of all the harmful things Donald Trump and his supporters continue to do. What happened with Ashley Babbitt getting that money yesterday, unimaginable. I never thought I would live in a country where we reward bad behavior, but we'll get into that in just a quick second. Let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. Why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down, all right? The second H is, well, it's because, I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize, right? But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it doesn't mean I owe you an apology. Most likely it means you need to sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast. But listen, I also don't believe apologizing is a sign of weakness. So that's why I say it's very important to be humble. And then the last and the most important H, ladies and gentlemen, it is because I am I right? The most handsome. And I got some haters out there that hate when I say that. Hungry, no, JTA Creations, knock it off. Yeetus. Thank you, W in the chat, Yeetus. I appreciate that. Now, what we do over here on this side of TikTok, quiet as it is kept, is very, very unique, and it's a bit of a group effort. We hold these Trump supporters accountable, and we help them to see that they are nothing but a bunch of liars and a bunch of hypocrites, and that they are in a cult. And the way that we do this is we give them play-by-play breakdowns of what their dear leader is doing to them, so that they understand that if they are suffering from whatever it is, 10 times out of 10, 99.99999% of the time, the result of their suffering is because of, guess who? Their dear leader, Donald J. Trump, W. Zeus. I have no reason to get out here and lie to you people, right? So here's the deal. Do we have any Trump supporters out there this morning? Any Trump supporters out there? Anybody out there still worshiping Donald J. Trump? Just identify yourselves. I don't need you to come on up here, because if you look at what's happening right now, you're in a lot of trouble. And so what I want to do is make sure I help you see the light. Yeah, Diaper Don. Yeah. Any Trump supporters out there, I don't need you to come up here. I just want to make sure I get this part of the show out of the way before we dive right on into, some of the content. Going once, Miss Obvious. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Donnie Two Dolls. Thank you. So Agent Orange, you call him Agent Orange. So it looks like we don't have any Trump supporters that are brave enough to acknowledge that they are Trump supporters in my chat. Normally, I see you all bright and early every morning doing the same thing, being Zeus haters, but you're not here, so I'll go ahead and say it. If you do not want Big Zeus to hurt your feelings, all right, and ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and everything in between, because you eat Cheez-Its and drink Diet Coke in the morning because that's what you do, then you might want to leave this live because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Yeah.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Boom. And now the doors for the Thunderdome have officially closed, and I don't take any responsibility for what honestly goes on. I'll try my best to keep this thing on the rails, but we just got to get straight into what's going on, and it's a lot of things happening right now in the world of politics. Donald Trump was on the tear yesterday, and this is on the heels of our former President Biden announcing that he's been struck with cancer, right? And so I've been monitoring Donald Trump, and I'm going, now, are we at a place now where you can stop bringing up the former president and just trying to dog him out? Because Joe Biden didn't do a thing wrong as far as I am concerned. He saved this country from what we all saw happen while Trump was in office the first time, right? And that included not just C-19, but what happened on January 6th. And I say to myself, so you have a president that ruins the country, and then you have another president that, we didn't want Joe Biden to come back in, but because things were so bad, he ended up being the one that got back into the office, and he repaired this country. The economy was tanking. He brought it back. Yeah, there was a point when inflation was up, but Joe Biden got the inflation back and made our economy one of the economy of the world. It was the envy of the world what Joe Biden did, and then he handed it over to Donald J. Trump. And the thanks that Joe Biden gets from Donald Trump is that every single day that Donald Trump is in the White House, he constantly shows the world that he has the worst case of Biden derangement syndrome. He just can't stop mentioning Joe Biden's name. And so when the information came out about Biden's health, I thought to myself, perhaps Donald Trump now will not be bringing up President Biden's name. And, we're going to get into some of the interviews that Donald Trump did, not just today. He did one at Capitol Hill. But he did a couple yesterday, and I honestly thought he was on the right path until this morning. Honestly, I did. So what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is let's go ahead and start off where we left off yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. And this is, and I did a video about it. Melania shows up, and I don't talk about Melania because she's really not, she's not running the country. I talk about Donald Trump. So Melania shows up, and I said, now this is going to be very, very interesting because we don't get to see her that often, but she was showing up, and I think it was for a very good cause, right? Take It Down Act. There's bad people out here like Marjorie, and I call her Marjorie Trader Green, but we all saw what she did with Hunter Biden's laptop in Congress. She took photos of him in Congress and blasted intimate photos of Hunter Biden for the world to see. So this Take It Down Act, I'm thinking to myself, this is actually a step in the right direction, right? W. Zeus. So Melania is introducing it, and I'm following it along, and then it's time for Donald Trump to come in and just basically, sign off on what Melania says and give us some information about the bill and go on about his day. But when he went up to speak, ladies and gentlemen, I realized that Donald Trump, I think he has cognitive issues because he couldn't stay on topic. And he kept bringing up Vladimir Putin. It's so weird. All right. So let's get this on the record. All right.
Being abused through non-consensual or intimate imagery of I and CII.
If you've got pink
Hold
salt,
on.
apple cider vinegar, and
Jeez.
baking soda in your kitchen, and you're not using this recipe.
As First Lady, my Be Best initiative is focused on improving children's well-being, encouraging kindness, and creating a safer online environment for our youth. Today, I'm proud to say that the values of Be Best will be reflected in the law of the land. I want to thank my husband, President Trump, for standing with us on this effort. His signature on this new law is not where our work ends on this issue. Now we look to the Federal Trade Commission and the private sector to do their part. Today, through the Take It Down Act, we affirm that the well-being of our children is central to our future, of our families and America.
Okay. I'm with that.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce the President. Thank you.
Now she's introducing the Take It Down Act. All Donald Trump, anybody in their right mind has to come up and do is say, thank you, honey. Go ahead and have a seat. And then start to inform the American people about what the Take It Down Act is. And, go into details about many questions or concerns that they might have. That's all Donald Trump really needed to do. But let's go ahead and see what he does instead. And it's the most bizarre thing ever, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. You want to sit down? You want to sit down?
Ladies and gentlemen, nobody knew about. Great job. That was a great job. Well, I want to thank everybody. We just spent 2.5 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and I think some progress has been made. It's a terrible situation going on.
So he brings up Vladimir Putin right at the very beginning of the Take It Down Act ceremony. This is a cognitive issue.
Over there, 5,000 young people every single week are being killed.
Someone said take it down, Putin act. Oh, I get the connection now. That's a good angle.
So
That might be it.
hopefully we did something. We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up. What a shame that it ever started in the first place. So, but I want to thank Melania and for your leadership in this very important issue. It's an amazing issue. America is blessed to have such a dedicated and compassionate First Lady. I would tell you she is very dedicated. In fact, if you look at just what I heard, Putin just said they respect your wife a lot. I said, what about me? You know, they like Melania better. That wasn't good. I don't know if that was good. I'm okay with it. I'm okay.
Okay, so what he's showing me right now is he can't stay on topic. This is supposed to be the Take It Down Act, going after people who put that stuff on the internet about somebody in an intimate and a compromising position. It had nothing to do with Vladimir Putin at all. But Donald Trump doesn't care, and neither does his supporters. They actually think this is a sign of genius. It's not a sign of genius. It's a sign that Donald J. Trump, there's something wrong with him up here, right? And I hope you supporters, while you're out there mocking Joe Biden, realize he's going up against Father Time, and Father Time is undefeated. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Let's go ahead and warm up this lake of fire first round, all right? We're going to warm it up this time because guess what? We have a bunch of Trump supporters out there that still don't get it, that unfortunately you live by it, then you die by it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send Donald J. Trump straight to hell. There you go.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, and so now then he does that. You can go finish watching the rest of the interview, but he leaves that little thing, the ceremony, and then he goes and does another interview at the Kennedy Center. And we're at the Kennedy Center. All I'm doing is listening, and I'm trying to say, is he going to bring up President Biden's name or not? Is he going to bring up Joe Biden's name or not? And he does an outstanding job dodging it. All right, so we're going to talk firstly about what is he covering here at the Kennedy Center? Hold on real quick. Hold on just a quick second. Oh, yeah, okay. So he's giving a speech and he's talking about the economy as usual. And he starts to bring up the fact that the tariffs that he put into place, he says, you haven't even seen the tariffs. And I thought to myself, so Donnie Two Dolls, you're saying to the American people today that the tariffs you did on Liberation Day, that wasn't even as bad as it could get. But he goes ahead and says it. I said, this guy really has something going on with him. Seriously.
Heard of before. And our relationship is fantastic with those three beautiful places. I mean, they're incredible. Money is like no place else, probably anywhere. Well, we have more money, but we didn't use it right. But that's all right. Now we're starting to. We were losing in trade $5 billion a day, and now because of tariffs and other things, we're making $1 billion a day, and the tariffs haven't even really kicked in.
So he said they haven't really kicked in. And the question I have to ask the chat is this: who pays the tariffs? Does anyone know who pays the tariffs? Because if he's making all this money, then what he's admitting is that he's making a bunch of money off of all of us. W to the chat, we do. So he's admitting WCC. Thank you so much. All right. So he's admitting that he's ripping off the American people. And so then he gets deeper into this and he starts repeating his lies about how good the economy is. I mean, this is where I get onto you Trump supporters and I ask you, do you really believe what he's saying?
I mean, I have so many friends on the board. This is a hot board, just like we have a hot country. You know, we have a hot country. Our country was stone cold 8 months ago. It all began on November 5th. Does everybody know that was election day? And from that moment on, and then January 20th came and what we've done, we have almost no inflation. Our energy prices are way down. Our gasoline costs are way down. Groceries are way down. Eggs. Remember, they hit me with eggs my first week.
They hit him with eggs.
So the fake news, those people right there, they're saying, sir, eggs have gone through the roof. They were doubling and tripling eggs. I said, I don't know. I just got here. Excuse me. And through she's done a great job, Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture. Anyway, the prices came down. They didn't want us to. We had the egg roll here a couple of weeks ago for Easter.
he had the egg roll at the White House for Easter. Does anyone recall seeing egg rolls at the White House? It's just crystal clear, ladies and gentlemen, that he's not competent enough to run this great country of ours. I mean, and it's at a point now where you have to ask yourself, is he really lying, or does Donald J. Trump really believe that the economy is doing great? So I've came to the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, that his mind is stuck. His mind is stuck in the Biden-Obama years, perhaps. And, you know, if you go back to those years, perhaps the eggs were that price, right? Perhaps the gasoline was $1.97 around those times, right? And that's where his brain stopped, because obviously he has no clue what he's doing and saying. He's just rambling and saying things to get his supporters to drink the Kool-Aid even more. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I really have no choice but to do it. I have no choice but to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm it up. All right, we got to send them straight to hell, because you can't continue to lie to the American people that things are fine. There's no fire burning. Oh no, there's nobody out here suffering as a result of those cuts that he made to Doge. Oh, there's no inflation, even though I see his supporters, the ones that come into my show, crying that they don't have any money. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is?
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Oh yeah. And so now the crux, because now this was the second interview. Then he goes and does another one, participating in a law enforcement event. Now, this is when I actually get to see what really happened on that phone call, because quiet as it is kept, didn't Donald Trump say that if he got elected, he would be able to end this conflict between Russia and Ukraine? He said that to us all. He's repeated it so many times. It's actually like a tattoo on a lot of our brains right now. So a couple of weeks ago, I remember we were talking to a lot of the Trump supporters. Weren't they celebrating that Donald Trump got Zelensky to sign this mineral deal? You remember this? The mineral deal. And what was the mineral deal supposed to do, ladies and gentlemen? It was supposed to guarantee that the United States remained involved in Ukraine, and it was supposed to basically make Putin bow down to Donald J. Trump, right? So we know that he spoke for 2.5 hours, but the question is, did we get that ceasefire? The first event that he was at with his wife, the Take It Down Act, he didn't really get out there and start bragging that, yeah, Putin is listening to me. And so eventually we knew we were going to get to the truth. And it's always going to happen when these reporters who do an outstanding job get the opportunity to ask him questions about that phone call. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go take some questions we're going to listen to some questions that are being asked by their dear leader about that infamous phone call. And if anyone can point out where Donald Trump says that he got Putin to agree to a ceasefire, I would like you to come on up here and explain to me where. And if not, you know what that means. It's going to be some serious consequences. All right.
We said, let's get that idea. Thank you.
Mr. President, as you know,
Go ahead.
Mr. President, as you know, 2.5 months ago, Ukraine President Zelensky agreed to that 30-day ceasefire that's been on the table all of that time. What was the extent of your conversation with President Putin today about having him agree to that same 30-day ceasefire proposal that you, Mr. President, put on the table?
Well, what we've done, and very strongly, is we said, let's get this thing going. You know, I had many of the leaders of European nations on the line with me right after the call. And we have to get that thing solved. 5,000 young people every single week on average. And I've seen satellite pictures. You don't want to see these pictures. We'll have to see what happens. This was not my war. This is not a war that would have happened if I were president. This is not my war. I'm just here to try and help. We've spent hundreds of billions of dollars on this war. And yet that's not, frankly, we made much more than that just in 4 days in the Middle East. It's a lot of money, but we do much. This is about thousands of people dying every single week. 5,000, 6,000 people dying every single week. And just like you have the relatives here, wives and children and everything. You have, these soldiers, they say goodbye in Ukraine and in
What is? Does anybody know what he's saying? Does anyone out there understand this? Because if this isn't a sign that, number one, we didn't have a ceasefire, it's a sign we don't have a ceasefire. Look at all these people writing no. No one knows what he's saying. W. Rick in the chat. No one knows what Donald Trump is saying, but I can decode it and say, well, he's not saying Putin surrendered and he understood that mineral deal that I got going on in Ukraine is a no-fly zone, right? He's not saying that. He's just rambling about a bunch of nonsense, MAGA, and I need you all to break this down to us.
And then their parents never see him again, except maybe in pictures of horrible scenes, because I've seen some scenes, I've never seen anything like it. So we're going to see if we can get it taken care of. Yeah, please.
First off, our thanks to the members of law enforcement who are here, and our condolences to the families. We're very sorry for your loss. Mr. President, on Ukraine and on your call today that you had with President Putin, you said last week that you thought nothing was going to happen, no advances would be made until you and Putin got together. Do you still feel that way?
I think something's going to happen. It's a very big egos involved, I tell you. Big egos involved. But I think something's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'd just back away and they're going to have to keep going.
He thinks something is going to happen, but if it doesn't, he backs away. No, sir, you have a mineral deal, bro. You have a mineral deal, and you indirectly committed yourself to this. And again, what is he doing? Does anyone think Donald Trump sounds like the master negotiator? He's supposedly at Congress today negotiating a bill, the big beautiful bill. And I say to myself, if he can't even negotiate with Putin, what is he going to do in our government? You obviously can see he has no clue what he's doing. Putin is playing Donald Trump like a fiddle. And you Trump supporters know it. And you want to sit around here and talk about all these deep state conspiracies while this guy is sitting here robbing you blind? Absolutely not, W. Zeus. But, we'll give him another chance to clean this up.
Again, this was a European situation. It should have remained a European situation. Should have remained.
What?
But we have, because the past administration felt very strongly that we should be involved, and we got involved much more than Europe did in terms of the money and all of the things that we gave. We gave massive amounts, I think record-setting amounts given to a foreign. There's never been anything like this, both weaponry and money. And Europe gave a lot also, but they didn't give anywhere near what we gave. We gave probably almost 3 times the amount. And it's
and that's a lie right there. We all know that.
The level of death is just a shame.
Go ahead.
Did you ask President Putin to meet with you?
Did you ask President Putin to meet with you? Donald, these are simple questions, bro.
About what?
About what? About what, bro? Seriously?
Of course I did. I talked to him about it. I said, when are we going to end this, Vladimir? I've known him for a long time now. I said, when are we going to end this bloodshed, this bloodbath? It's a bloodbath. And I do believe he wants to end it. When I made the call, I told the people last night, I spoke to the heads of the different countries, Germany and Finland, we had Italy.
You know what? We all know it. You know where this is going. This is going down the drain like his presidency. And so what we have no other choice to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we got to do another round of booze and shame. I'm so angry and upset that Donald Trump is he's tapping the American people along. Every time. When are you going to get it done? 2 weeks. Promise you 2 weeks. It's been over 100 days, almost 300 days if you want to do it the way he does it, right? Almost 300 days. And we're not getting any results. You're not doing anything Joe Biden didn't do except for cry every single day about how you're not getting, treated. You're not getting treated well. So what I'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire, because once again, we've caught Donald J. Trump and his supporters lying to the American people. They don't have anything. There's nothing that Donald Trump is able to negotiate. There's no deals being made on behalf of the American people. It's just a bunch of losing. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Let's go ahead and give him another round of booze and shame. before I go to the box, because I'll talk to people. You know, we got to talk to the people. I just want to, put this out there, ladies and gentlemen. Again, and this is from our good friend Adam Mockler. This is a video he did, and it's titled "Elon Hides Away After Causing People to Lose Their Lives." All right, and this is serious. This goes back to the Doge cuts and the impact it has had on Americans all over the country. So while you Trump supporters are out there cheering on Donald Trump and all the stuff that he's doing, I just want to give you a quick snippet of this, but make sure you go check out the video yourself, all right? Because this is serious stuff that's going on in this country.
Not being covered enough, but we now know that cuts done by Trump, by Elon Musk, and by Doge have led directly to deaths, mainly in red states, due to lack of preparedness when severe storms begin tearing through. For example, in Kentucky, you guys have likely heard about this. We've seen flooding and tornadoes and large hail, the kind of chaos where people depend on up-to-the-minute warnings from reputable sources. Well, the Trump admin has pulled that away, and it's mainly hurt their own voters. We've seen this time and time again. Just to back up, a month ago, coal miners had to head to court after Trump made cuts to black lung screening staff. Lord have mercy. There is no chance. So these workers who work in coal mines and help benefit the American people then had their ability to get free screenings done by the Trump admin.
Yeah.
Roughly 2/3 of the staff that provides free examinations for the deadly diseases, which one study says affects 1 in 5 longtime miners, was recently fired. Again, 2/3 of the staff was fired, therefore inhibiting the ability for them to do free screenings or screenings at all. 2 West Virginia coal miners with black lung disease testified before a federal judge on Wednesday during a hearing on the Trump admin's decision to effectively shutter a program that provides free screenings to coal miners. It's called waste. It's called waste, fraud, and abuse. Why do we care about having a healthy populace?
If you've got
So, ladies and gentlemen, notice Elon Musk has faded to black, right? He's faded away. It's because all the things that he was supposedly doing that were cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse, it's now coming down 10 times harder on the American people, and actually 100 times harder on MAGA. And the reason MAGA is coming down harder on you is because you knew better and you chose to do evil, right? When you don't know that you're doing wrong, then the punishment isn't that much, but you're going to get punished because you shouldn't do evil things. But when you know that you're doing evil and then you go ahead and do it, there's going to have to be some sort of consequences for that. And so what we're seeing is that in a lot of these red states, they are now understanding that there are such thing as hurricanes. There are such thing as tornadoes and fires. And believe it or not, our federal government was actually helping to save y'all's lives. Believe it or not, MAGA. The government that you've convinced yourselves not to trust because you're on those social media sites like X perhaps, and you go down that wormhole of the deep fake and the deep state. You know what I'm talking about. They've convinced you that you're better at it fighting it alone and putting your head in the sand. And now you're all starting to find out maybe we do need to start listening to these blue states, like California with Governor Gavin Newsom, right? So what we're going to do is one last time, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up this lake of fire. And this time I'm going to do it for the Trump supporters. For all of you Trump supporters out there that have brought hell and destruction on yourselves via worshiping Donald J. Trump, this is for you. Unfortunately, you got to learn and you got to burn.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, W, sis. All right, let's go to the box. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up here, but we don't got much time. All right. Oh, good morning to Keisha. Welcome to Keisha. How are you doing?
Hey, Zeus, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Just another day in the kingdom, tending to the affairs. How about you?
I'm okay. I just been, crying on and off about my son, moving with his job to another part of the city.
But
I'm gonna be all right.
But he's being a man, though.
I know, but still, that don't mean I ain't gonna miss him, Zeus.
I understand. I get it. All right, but he's how far away? How many hours you think?
He's only 4 hours away.
Okay, well then son, check on your mama. Be a man. I don't know, but he knows what I'm saying.
Oh, he's definitely a man, but like I said, he's been with me all his life, so of course I'm gonna be a little down about it.
I understand. I understand.
But listen,
talk to us.
I want to bring up, talk on three things. Number one, let's talk about Melania Trump's look.
Take it down act.
You just did that because you want us to take down what you got showing on the internet. It has nothing to do with children. It has nothing to do with anybody else. You want your stuff taken down off the internet, and that's why you came up with this little bill. Think about it, Zeus. Zeus, we can still see her stuff on the internet.
Is it because of us? Is it because of us, or is it because of Putin? Because I'm starting to think that perhaps all of this is because of Putin. I don't go and look at it.
Well, he did let his media post her stuff one day, so she just want to make sure it stays off the internet. But we've already seen it. We got screenshots, so it doesn't matter if they do take it off. We still have those pictures and those videos.
Yeah. Well, I think it's I think she's got to do what she's got to do. But I think you have a point, W. Takesha. Go ahead.
The other thing is that when Donald Trump says the war would have never happened under me if I was president, that's not a flex because you're president and it's still going on. So apparently you being president doesn't make a difference. Yeah. Because if that was the case, if they were afraid of you, then guess what, Zeus? When you got elected, they would have called off the war.
Yeah.
So evidently it didn't matter if you was president or not. And you came out talking about that great phone call, and Putin came right behind you and came out and said, no, we said we're going to look at it.
Yeah.
They didn't agree to anything, Zeus. I want Donald Trump to stop all that lying.
Yeah. Well, why do you think he's doing it? Do you think Donald Trump has something mentally going on upstairs? Because while they're sitting here getting on Joe Biden, and by the way, Jake Tapper's book is going to come out, and I'm going to check it out, and they're going to, do you think Donald Trump is going to be possibly enduring some of the things President Biden did at his age in the White House, and maybe that's what this is really all about?
Well, you reap exactly what you sow.
That part.
And so he's already declining. You can tell about it, the way he talks real slow. He can't even sleep at night. He's up all night truthing. And then on top of that, he's just a natural born liar. That's all he does. Zeus is in him. He can't stop lying. Just like you said that the Afghans was going to bring into trillions of dollars into the United States when them folks' whole GDP ain't even $1 trillion.
Bingo.
They ain't gonna give us $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Their whole GDP is not even $1 trillion. So he just makes up stuff. He inflate numbers to make himself look good. But I want him to give me the state where the groceries are down, the gas is down, energy is down, because I still got a $416 light bill this month.
Yeah.
So please let me know where all of this is down, and maybe I can pack my bags and move there.
$416. That's does anyone think that's an acceptable amount for a light bill to be? Because last I heard, he's supposed to be cutting all of that in half, 50% or so. You're saying it's not happening.
416, Zeus.
Wow. So we're not getting any relief from Donald Trump yet. Someone wrote $700. What?
Zeus, I went to Walmart to try to get my son a couple of groceries for his new apartment. Even though, the people didn't care about me, they didn't send me any cash outs. But anyway. And the groceries were still very expensive. Nothing is going down, Zeus. Nothing.
Wow. This is so sad. This is unfortunate. And he's supposedly in Congress negotiating this big, beautiful bill that's supposed to eventually provide some sort of relief. What are your thoughts about that?
Relief to who?
There's supposed to be some perks in there for you. I don't know.
Where are they? Because we hadn't read them.
No tax on tips. No tax on overtime.
That's not in that bill, Zeus.
He said it was.
Zeus, he's lying.
What?
He knows the people won't read the bill. So they'll just believe anything he says.
Well, does anybody in the chat think Takesha is lying? Because I want to know if there are Trump supporters out there that can back up what Trump is saying, especially when they say gas is $1.97 and eggs are 38 cents. He said he had egg rolls at the White House. I don't see anyone. No one out there. They don't. I guess to your point, Takesha, you've basically annihilated these Trump supporters. They know good and well there's no truth in what Donald Trump is saying, and that he's ruining this great country of ours. Wow, Takesha.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. But I mean, if they want to keep hanging their hopes on Donald Trump, I'm gonna let them. And they're gonna, and they going down like the Titanic. They just don't see it because they must be sleeping in the cabin. But they need to wake up and feel that water rising on them because they gonna sink with him.
Yeah. So you don't think Donald Trump is actually going to make America great again? The way you're
He's making America worse ever since he stepped foot. Ever since he, threw his hand up and didn't touch that Bible. He's been making America worse.
Hypocrites.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to continue to keep up the great work, all right? And if we can get these people to deal with the reality, I might have to bring you right on back up here, all right, Takesha?
Okay, I'll be here, sweetie.
All right, Takesha. In the chat. Good. All right. Because see, this is what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We're having the honest conversations. If you're a Trump supporter, identify yourself, please. Put a 1 in the chat. And what I'll do is I'll bring you up, and I think I'll help you see the light in maybe a record time, maybe 1 or 2 seconds. It doesn't take long to do what I do. All right. Seriously. Do we have any ones out there? Uh-oh. No Trump supporters. I honestly thought, MAGA, that y'all would have been a lot happier now that your dear leader is in charge. But I can't think of a single day that I've seen Trump supporters happy. Has anyone seen Trump supporters happy ever since Donald Trump got into the White House? I haven't seen them at all. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing that they're not doing it. Good morning, Q-Dog. Welcome to the show. How are you doing, bro?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking.
So,
yes.
No, yeah, as usual, he stays lying. But I wanted to bring something to attention. I actually popped in when you were in Snuggles Live. Yesterday, matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing that President Biden is going through, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, he's going through the same thing.
Well, I don't believe it's the same exact thing. I don't think it's exact, but
similar.
Yeah, he's battling a serious issue.
He's having some issues. But for you to come out of your mouth and say that someone's internet is about as bad as Biden's condition, that's sick. And a lot of times you MAGA folks, y'all go way too far. And it makes no sense that you have the audacity to plant a seed like that, and then when it comes back around to you, you want sympathy. You want compassion. You want folks to feel your pain. This man is going through a hard time. No matter how you feel about him, how you may dislike him or whatnot, nobody, and I mean nobody, deserves to be treated that way.
You're talking about President Biden.
We're talking about President Biden. That he
do you think, because I'm hearing about this book that's coming out. What are your thoughts about this in terms of his health and the information that's coming out? I'm just curious. I may be I might be shooting from the hip a little bit, but is there something to the fact that we're just now finding this out?
Oh, Your Majesty, you really saying he just see this is the
what did he say?
He said he won't be going through this very long.
Really? He said that?
He don't switch his name back from TikTok Tiny Tank Top Tim. Your Mac.
Thank you, Rick. Thank W, Rick. All right, Rick took care of it. But this is a serious thing. This is a serious thing.
Serious.
Yeah, he has a serious case, and I was thinking Donald Trump was going to lead his cult and not do it, but he did it this morning. He brought up Joe Biden again, and now they're saying they need to investigate the auto pin and all of this other stuff. Do you think that we're gonna have to at some point address this as a party? That maybe there was something going on that we didn't know, and that going forward, how can we prevent this? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are when people go through certain situations, they try to make people aware of the signs before it gets to their stage. I actually had a good friend that unalived due to the same circumstances as President Biden. If you all heard of the Inky Boys, it was a father and son duo, millions of followers and whatnot. I actually introduced them to my frat brother Shaq, who brought them on the TNT sports analysis show. And this was actually before he got that series going through pains and whatnot. If you know you'll probably recognize this if you all ever seen that movie that recently came out a few years ago called Flaming Hots, about the man that created Flaming Hot Cheetos.
I've never seen it. Yeah,
he was actually it was a true life story that he actually worked for the company and whatnot. But his son was playing in that movie. But to see the pain that he went through on social media, and sometimes he had to take a break from social media because he was in that much pain on a day, but he kept going because of his son.
Yeah.
But the whole time while he was going through it, he was making people aware. He was making posts and letting them know to get checked. Don't wait till it's too late.
Yeah.
If you find signs that's happening to you, make sure that you go to the doctor. This is important.
Yeah.
I was trying to chime you in yesterday because we had another one like Tiny Tank Top Tim and Snuggles that popped up in the live yesterday with Misha.
Mishi.
And he claimed, and we had Dr. Keisha up in there, and he tried to come up saying that he was a part of being, the medical field or whatnot. Basically, all he does is probably take patients in for write them down or whatnot. Administration. He was not a part of that. Dr. Keisha tried to explain to them the measures of what you need to do and what signs you need to look for when you have some type of medical conditions. Alternate ego. Stop. This ain't the time.
Oh, don't worry about these people in the chat, bro. We just got to get going and keep cooking and booking. These people, they're going to say what they say. I get it. But they don't stop us.
So, he kept interrupting her, calling her names and whatnot. And we just basically booted him out of the live. A lot of these people, and then he had the nerve to try to follow me. I'm like, if you in here, you don't agree with certain things or certain antics that are being said, why are you trying to follow us? You're a troll. Go to another platform. CTA, that's the name. These people, they have nothing else better to do with their life but to cause misery.
Is that true, MAGA? They're just miserable people out here trying to cause misery. Well, this is why I think what we do is very important, right? We have to continue to reveal to them the hypocrisy that's basically within their cult. All right. And so look at where we're at right now. Their dear leader he's going up against Father Time. We haven't seen or heard of what his real medical issues are. But the signs, as far as I'm concerned, they're there.
And he's one that just recently made a stupidity comment. to the media about instead of saying I wish prayers to his family. I hope he recovers or something positive. He made it all about himself. This is the type of person that you deal with. So just imagine if you're going through this, MAGA, and he decides to make your situation that could possibly be a real short-term one, and made it about himself. We all know that we just lost one of our good friends, Cece. Now, imagine if that was your mother, your sister, your auntie, and you were trying to get some assistance from the research or whatnot, and he made it about himself.
Yeah, that's to me. This is why it's very, very important for people to understand that there are real consequences to these policy actions that are going on. That's going to end up directly causing harm to them. And to your point, look at what's going on in these other red states when people are now, suffering because of these natural weather events, and there's no federal government support. The funding that's being cut to actually investigate things like cancer. This is all being stripped away by the Trump administration and his supporters. They're cheering it on. They're welcoming it, not understanding the full consequences of this.
It's sad, man.
Yeah.
There's no president in history that ever acted like this, especially if someone is going down a path that they may not be able to recover from. And for you to come up on national television, on a platform, and you're the face of the United States, and for you to say the things that you say about someone that may not make it to the end of the year.
Shame on you. That's worthy of Thunderdome right there. That's worthy. Well, listen up, brother. You laid it down very well, WQ dog. You see what I'm saying? There's got to be consequences to this. And so what we'll continue to do is hold these people's feet to the fire, brother. All right? And we're gonna move it along, and then if I need to, I'm gonna bring you back up, ladies and gentlemen. Another round of applause. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I'm here for you.
Alrighty then. There you go. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. So, do we have any Trump supporters out there besides Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom? Because see, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, it's a sad thing, honestly, when you just can't even show that you're even capable of being a decent person that operates with dignity, and it's kind of disturbing. So what I'll do is this. I'm gonna take the word for what you just said, and we're gonna go ahead and do a Lake of Fire round. This is for you, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. I don't know what it's gonna take for you to realize, but you're living wrong, bro. You're living wrong, and you're doing wrong, and you know what it is. Seriously.
Silence, you MAGA.
There was a saying at one point in time, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. W. Zeus. That's how it works. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't even say anything at all. And you're not even bringing any kind of sauce to the kingdom, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you were a good-looking brother or sister out there, I'd be like, okay, I might give you a certain degree of freedom, but you're not even that. So you can't be ugly on the outside and then uglier on the inside. All right. And that just, to me, I just can't do it with you. All right. Again, W. Zeus, Tiny Take Top Tim Tom, knock it off, bro. Let's go back into the box. All right. Good morning, brother Swerve. Welcome to the show, brother. Nice to see you. How you doing?
Good to see you also, my friend. Zeus, I'm not going to talk about tiny testicle, turkey, two toes.
Fair enough.
And I'm not going to talk about President Biden. President Biden is doing as best as he can, and God willing, he's going to be okay in the long run, and he'll get some positive news sooner or later.
Yeah.
And if you know me and you follow my platform, you know one thing that I'm very good at is pointing out their freaking hypocrisy.
Real good. Best in the game.
So first of all, they come up here and they talk about they got all bent out of shape about something that Jim Comey posted, right? They got all bent out of shape about it. So here we have Republicans complaining to us about another Republican. Just like they complained about the guy who tried to unalive Trump. Oh, you Democrats are in for it. Wait, he's a Republican?
Yep.
No, yeah, he is. Yeah. So they already come up with that garbage. But you know, this is what I mean when I say hypocrisy. Where was their outrage when they tried to run the Biden-Harris campaign bus off the road in Texas?
Oh,
where was that? Where was that phony outrage then? Where was that outrage, Zeus, when they were running around selling T-shirts, wearing them to his emotional support rallies that said 8646? Where was their phony outrage then? Where was it, MAGA? Oh, where was their phony outrage when they posted all kinds of pictures of underwear and hammer after Nancy Pelosi's husband got attacked in his home? Where were y'all at then, MAGA? You see, y'all are hypocrites. Where was the phony outrage when people were getting the tailgates of their pickup trucks with President Biden hog-tied in the back of it? Where was that outrage?
Where?
MAGA. And y'all are such hypocrites. It's not even funny anymore. Y'all said nothing when all of that was going on.
Yeah.
Now because of something that a Republican posted against another Republican, your dear sweet Lord and Savior, now y'all are sitting there going, won't somebody please think of the children?
Oh.
And yet you call yourselves Christians. You're running in the church every Sunday yelling, go tell it on the mountain, brother. Hallelujah. And you got nothing. You got nothing. Y'all come with this phony selective outrage.
Yeah.
When Donald Trump stood there and he said he wouldn't rule out using the military to take care of the radical left woke Marxist communist socialist Democrats in the country and remove them, right? Yeah. First of all, those four things cannot exist in the same sentence, let alone the same government.
That part.
Secondly, when Joe, and I think he was in Pennsylvania when he gave a speech outside and he had the bright red and blue lights behind him. And
yeah, that was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and Joe Biden said, MAGA extremists are dividing this country. They're a threat to this country.
I remember that.
Then they lost their proverbial crap again. Oh my God, he's dividing the country. Won't somebody please think of the children?
Yeah. I remember this. He called them garbage too, and then they dressed up like trash bags for him, right? Remember this? Yeah. He got a garbage truck to prove his point too, and they all wore the trash bags.
Brother, they come with the phoniest selective outrage I have ever seen in my life. And you always ask him, won't somebody think of the children, but you won't do anything to help the children. Go figure.
Yeah.
You won't do anything. We got Miss Adriana Smith down there in a hospital in Atlanta being made to be a human incubator for a fetus that may not be viable. They did a ultrasound and there's fluid in the head of this fetus now, right?
Yeah.
And they're going, well, won't somebody think of the children? Let that woman pass in peace.
Yeah.
Let her family have the closure that they need to get. Let them have their moment alone without all of them sitting there making fun of people. And MAGA, I'm going to say it with my whole chest, 10 toes down in the sand while I'm standing on a beach in Hawaii with my shirt open as a tsunami is about to smack me in the face.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, hit them with it, because they want to see that.
Y'all are the biggest hypocritical pieces of human excrement I have ever seen in my life. You have nothing, but here you come with your phony outrage. And every time Donald Trump lies to you, you sprinkle some salt on it, you eat that crap right out of his diaper. And then sit there and go, yes, daddy, please. Because y'all are out here running around. Let's think about about this.
This is some nasty stuff they're doing. It's a sign they're in a cult. All right, seriously.
Zeus, brother, look, it's absolutely nasty and despicable. It's cringy AF.
Yeah.
To get out here on Beyonce's internet and start calling another grown man daddy. Now, what you do behind the walls of your bedroom, that's your business.
Yeah.
But to get out here and publicly call a grown man daddy, you can't make that make sense to me. My father passed away in 1994. May he rest in peace.
God bless his soul. Yeah.
I didn't even call him daddy. I called him Pop or I called him Rip. Because Rip was his nickname.
Yeah.
He was Pops or Rip. So
Yeah.
he told me either one. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how he got the nickname of Rip, but okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only man I've ever had in my life that I would refer to in the sense of daddy. These people are cringy, vile AF people.
Yeah.
And somehow, Zeus, they think it's a flex.
Yeah.
Everything they think is a flex is not a flex. Remember back in the day, if we jump in the Wayback Machine with Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
Yeah.
Let's jump in that machine. And when CV-19 hit this country, they called it a hoax. But now they're trying to use it to say, oh, well, most of the spending that Donald Trump did was because of that. well, wait a minute. Was it a hoax?
They can't have it both ways. This is what I'm thinking. This is what you're saying. They're trying to have it both ways with C-19. On one side, it was a hoax, but then on the other side, you're saying, oh, it justified Donald Trump sending our national debt through the roof.
Yeah, yeah. And it just, the hypocrisy with these folks, it amazes me to no end.
Yeah.
And I just, Zeus, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can sit there and look at this man lying and say, yeah, I believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, what I think it is these people, their pride is in their way, right? They know that they've been basically sold a bad bill of goods, and they've went home and they had to explain to everybody that they love how they were manipulated and fooled. And this is the issue. They can't do it.
They should have kept the receipts so they can get their money back.
There you go, W Swerve. Yeah.
So, and I'll land with this. Because we talk about critical thinking, right?
Yeah.
So just follow me on this logic, Zeus.
I'm listening.
Donald Trump made the claim that he was in a helicopter with Willie Brown was about to crash. So let's think critically about this for a moment.
Lord have mercy. Goodness gracious, how many lies this man got?
This was supposedly 25 years ago, somewhere in the vicinity, right?
Yeah.
So, Madam Harris had not even run for any kind of political office yet.
Wow.
Right? So again,
he's everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Willie Brown is in this helicopter with Donald Trump that's going down. Willie Brown is not thinking about his children. He's not trying to get on a cell phone and then, well, they didn't have them back then.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about making his peace with God. The only thing he could come up with as they were about to meet their demise was, by the way, in 20, 30 years, you might run against somebody named Kamala Harris. She's a bad person. That's what happened while that helicopter was plummeting.
You know, it's so funny, but it's also serious because he really believes that. He really believes that. This is why I say either he has cognitive issues or the man's lying. And the way he's saying this stuff right now, I'm really thinking it's definitely cognitive issues. I mean, I know he's capable of lying, but these stories, they make absolutely no sense and they are totally insane.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and my friend, my good friend, my co-hostess, she was out and about on some travels yesterday, doing some errands around town. She took pictures of gas stations.
Yeah.
The gas pumps where she was at. And she sent them to me. She said, hey, Swervin, does this look like gas prices are going down? $4.49 a gallon for regular gas.
No. I gotta do it. So she's saying gas is not $1.97. No. That's a long way away from $1.97. You know, that could change your life. You know, you go if you only got like $100 in your bank account and you got to use some of it for food, but your tank is on empty. Gas prices at that level, it'll change your life. In some cases, it'll put your life at risk. Wow.
Zeus, when she sent me those pictures, this was my shocked face.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. I mean,
but I was told by our president that gas prices were going down.
Yeah.
And then she sent me those pictures, and all I could do was this. You mean like a hot food?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, in case anybody's wondering, this is the Snuggles filter.
That's the Snuggles filter.
That's the Snuggles filter. But, I mean,
Lord have mercy.
Bro, just think about the crap that he says.
Yeah.
And the crap that they eat up at every given turn and believe it beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
They believe it implicitly. And then they will call themselves Christians, the phony Christians that they are. And Zeus, you know I'm not a very religious person.
Right.
I do believe in a higher power. I believe that when I shuffle off this great plane, I am going someplace better.
Yeah.
But they will sit there in church, have their children, have their kids baptized in his name, get his name tattooed on their bodies.
Lower back part.
We're the ones with a problem.
Yeah.
And I want to remind everybody of this, Zeus, and I'm gonna go ahead and bounce out of here, brother, because I know you're busy. I want everybody to think of this. The people that we are dealing with are the same people who sat it down there in Texas in the rain waiting for JFK Jr. to come back to life.
We're in trouble. That's why I say we're in a lot of trouble in this country, especially when it comes to education, because anybody that does that, honestly, they're not too bright.
Brother, those are the people that we are trying to reach one at a time. And
Wow.
it just ain't enough of us to go around.
Right.
Try to reach them. And I know you've been successful with a couple.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see the work that Admir is putting in. And I know you know Admir.
Yeah, I know who he is, yeah.
But I'm sad to see people like Asler
Mm.
who are sitting there going, no, I go to Cuba, I come back, I have no problems. Not yet.
Yep.
Not yet. There's a big, you forgot to add that little, not yet. So
there you go.
Anywho, let me go ahead and bounce. It was great being back in the kingdom.
All right, I appreciate you coming up, bro.
I haven't seen y'all in a couple weeks, but I try to be in here every morning so I can hear what's going on and learn and keep on learning.
Fair
And,
enough.
you have some wonderful guests: Q Dog, Dr. Keisha, Shay, Takesha, Nutty. I mean, just wonderful.
Well, you can go easy on the nutty stuff. The nutty situation is kind of a nutty situation, but he tries his best. All right, but yeah, I get what you meant.
I will give him an A for effort.
Okay, fair enough.
A for effort.
Fair enough.
Everyone, you all, my customary goodbye. You all be well. You all be safe, and doggone it, have fun while you do it.
All righty then. W Swerve in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. No lies detected. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've been visited by Brother Swerve, but I know he's been here every single day of the show, mostly, because people always come in. Good morning. Look at this. We're having a different lineup this morning, but you know what? I like it. Good morning. Who do we have this morning right here? Going once. Denard, are you there?
Yeah, Zeus, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, champ? What you got for us this morning?
Hey, listen, real quick. I just want to talk about the president, Joe Biden, and what he's going through right quick.
Okay.
And the only reason I want to do this is because I've been through it. At
the medical condition that he's got, the cancer and stuff? Okay.
Yes, I've been through it myself, personally. And let me just give it to you right quick, because I know you ain't got a lot of time, but let me give it to you right quick, right?
Go ahead, brother.
So back when I was 39, I'm 54 now. So back then, I went to the doctor, and I used to go every 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 6 months from the other 6 months, the PSA level was higher than the previous 6 months, right?
Okay.
So doc said, "Hey, let's just go ahead and do a biopsy. Okay, let's do a biopsy
Right.
and just see, cause this is not normal." So we went in, we did a biopsy. Okay, it came back that I had cancer on my prostate. Okay, PSA, that's what it's called. The PSA.
Yeah.
It's all through blood work. It's
Yeah.
all through blood work. The PSA was so I was able to catch it at that early stage. I was able to catch it at that early stage
Right.
and I got my prostate taken out. So the only thing
Wow, they took it out?
yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my.
they took it out. So the only thing that puzzled me about this whole thing with President Biden is I know they got tip top insurance and I know they got the tip top doctors. Why in the world they didn't catch that in his blood work? And I know, I'm telling you, I had because it was so early. Like I said, I was 39. The University of Florida literally sent someone to my house and interviewed me. Okay, they interviewed me about it because I was so young. They wanted me to actually go to University of Florida and sit and talk to people about it, and I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And they actually paid me to do it. So it just bothers me, really bothers me on why why they didn't catch this.
Did you voted for President Biden?
Oh yeah, no, I'm
just double checking. I'm just double checking. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I've heard various doctors point out the fact that there was things that led to it possibly being missed, including like his age, right? That could have been one factor, and the fact that it's also very aggressive, right? So the window of time needed to detect it and then where it's at is an issue as well. So I'm not a medical expert, but I do feel the concern that is out there right now. A lot of people are, to me, it puts us in a space where, because the whole time Biden was in office, there were all these ridiculous claims being made about him, not being, fully present, his cognitive health and stuff like that. So it's just to me another example of something, that we have to deal with as a party. And I think when you're talking about health, it's a very sensitive area, right? Because some people want to share what's going on with them. They're very upfront and transparent, and then other people, they want you to respect their privacy too. So
Right.
I don't have the answers, but I just think that we need to go ahead and do our best to try to support President Biden through this whole thing. At the end of the day,
Right.
you know.
100%, 100%.
But I
it's just
understand
a
where you're
puzzle
coming from
thing,
too.
and only reason I can speak on it is because I personally went through it.
Yeah, but a lot of people react differently to the different stimuli. You know how that goes too. I've heard a lot of people go as far as to try to predict, how much time he has left. And you're going, wait a second. I mean, just because that may have happened to you doesn't mean it's going to happen to everybody either. So I don't want to put any negative energy out there on this. All I'm going to say is, President Biden, please, get well, and take advantage of the doctors that you have access to, and hopefully you pull through all of this, and hopefully it becomes something that all of us can learn from and use to better our lives and our health going forward, right? I mean, but I honestly don't know what he knew and what he didn't know. So I just don't like the conspiracies. That's it.
And one other thing, Zeus, is that I encourage, especially us as black men, to go get checked. Not only prostate, but your colon. It's very, very important. And I know a lot of people, they think stupidly, but please, and I'm telling y'all, listen, I don't know nobody on this app from the
I
from
get
a
you.
man to the moon, but just go get checked.
Amen.
And
Amen.
blood work will detect it fast. They got other tests and stuff that they have now
Yeah.
that to detect this stuff just in the blink of an eye.
There you
So
go.
I just ask everyone to please go get checked. And I even the Trump supporters, even though I don't care nothing about you people, but I'm telling y'all to go get checked.
Amen. Amen. Health is wealth. Thank you, Denard.
All right, man. You take it easy, man.
You too, brother. I appreciate you coming up here and sharing that with us, because I don't want you to feel like you can't speak up and say how you feel about stuff like that. It's very difficult to process. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm going to go check out Jake Tapper's book that he's got. I've read the other one, Fight, and you start going through all of these people's, people aren't doctors. Like, I'm not a doctor, but
Right.
you start hearing these stories about people who are in Biden's orbit, and the things that they saw, assuming that they're telling the truth. And you can't help but wonder, like, hey, there's some concern there, right? And so I get it. I totally get it. I'm not that. I don't like Donald Trump and his supporters, and I wish they would really, go to Russia. All right, but this is something that hits. This is something that hits close to home too. It's like, wait a minute, we got somebody that's potentially not 100%, and what did you do about it when you found out about it? That's just my opinion, though. All right, so I appreciate you. All right, W's in the chat for. Yeah, you too. All right, yes, this is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me bring up my brother, Nutty. Is this Nutty right here?
It is indeed. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Just to your last guest, Denard. If you go follow Dr. Keisha Davis, she's on Facebook, YouTube, Substack. Her podcast is The Medical Collective. The professional doctors she has on there, they all break this down as to how it could have been missed. And after a certain age, they don't look for things like that. Now, why that is, they're the scientists. They're the ones that matriculate it, so they know the answers. But I would encourage you to go and peek in on The Medical Collective with Dr. Davis. As a black man myself, hearing information from people who look like me, knowing our history with the medical professional, hearing people that are in authority, it gives me some more peace about making doctor's appointment and seeking out medical help. So I absolutely encourage you. So on to greater things. Zeus, breaking news.
What's that?
You know your buddy Kenneth.
Yeah, I know Kenneth, the one that lays in the bed.
The self-proclaimed founder of Blaga.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, we have some funny news.
Oh, okay. I can't take too much now. Come on now, what you got?
No, this is funny. He exposed himself yesterday on Itchy Banks Live.
How?
He exposed himself because you know those of us that are in the community.
Correct.
And when you have a panel full of the community, we're not going to let you get away with certain things that you say. And we're going to ask the right questions in order to dig a little further. So that's exactly what Liv, Itchy, Dantrell, they got the brother to admit that he didn't even vote. He didn't even vote, Zeus.
No.
He didn't vote. Even though he get up in your live all the time, be talking about how great Donald Trump is, and this fool didn't even vote. Do you know why he said he didn't vote?
Why?
Because of Punani.
Wait a second.
Yeah, you heard me. Punani. You know he likes to say that he has a wife and a side chick. You know, he likes to say that often, right? He didn't vote.
How does that turn into not showing up to vote though? This is some wild stuff. I've never heard anything like this.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, because he got disinvited from family gatherings. He got disinvited from. I didn't know, as a black person, I didn't know that we could get disinvited from the cookouts. I didn't know that.
Well, when you cross lines, yes.
He didn't get disinvited. He got banned from the cookouts.
Wow.
And apparently, either the person he calls his wife or the side piece, they threatened not to give him any punani if he voted for Trump, and so he didn't vote.
Wow.
I know what's going. Your mind is blown right now.
Wow. I mean, I've never. So he wanted to do it, but he couldn't do it because the.
So maybe that's the antidote that we've been looking for. We thought truth.
His kryptonite, huh?
We thought truth was the antidote to lies. Normally, it would be, right? But the antidote that we just found it's the power of the punani.
I can't. It's stuff like this that just sends me over the edge. All right, because he's not married, right?
Well,
he's being led by.
But he calls I guess the lady that he lives with, like he calls her his wife. But he also says he has a side chick. You remember he said that? He said because he told me that he was paying rent and a mortgage.
This brother is definitely you know what I gotta say it.
Open borders.
This is
with people pouring in.
Part right here.
Some of whom I won't get into it, but you can look at them and you can say could be trouble. Could be trouble.
He's trouble.
So Zeus, I was just going to listen today, but I'm like, no, I gotta tell my brother this. Because I didn't know if he was going to be lurking in the comments today. He probably is.
But if I were him, I wouldn't want to show my face on TikTok. Did he? Because is he doing this? I mean, did we see who he's booed up with too? Did we get any information about them? Which side are they on and stuff like that? Or is this just
so? Yeah, they were Harris. Well, apparently, okay. The lady that he lives with, that because I still don't believe he has a partner. But anyway, his fictitious partner apparently is a Harris supporter, and so I guess she threatened that he wasn't going to get any more meow if he was to go and vote for Donald Trump. So he was like, so in his words, Zeus, he said a man needs three things. He needs money, he needs food, and he needs meow.
No shelter?
And he was, this is what he said. Wow. He said money.
It's a wild animal.
He said money, food, and meow. So he's like, I wasn't about to lose my meow. I'm like, well, maybe the I was gonna say brother, but he's no brother. But maybe my guy has a little sense, just a little.
The priorities. Did he literally put them in that order too? I mean,
I quoted him verbatim.
Listen, this is why I say, just because somebody went to school. What the heck is that? Oh my goodness, Nutty! What is that? This is why I say.
Sorry, that was my vacuum.
That was your vacuum. Okay. This is why I say. It's funny you did the vacuum because attacking calls the Kirby. He says the Kirby, right? W attacking. I gotta say that. I mean, because you just did it to yourself, bro. I mean, seriously. But this is why when brothers say that, huh?
I walk in front of my garbage can, and my garbage can has a vacuum on the bottom of it, and I got too close to the garbage can.
Oh, okay. Okay. 21st century. It got AI and stuff like that on the trash can. W Nutty. I give it to him. But this is why I don't take people serious when they say I went to school, because I don't believe Kenneth really went to school and got a degree. I just think he went and did, the orientation or the touring of the campus kind of thing.
He didn't even tour the campus.
Yeah, because you did it online. W Nutty. Wow.
He toured the campus while laying in bed watching a video on television, on YouTube or something about that said school. He didn't tour no campus. He ain't never stepped foot on the land of higher learning.
Wow.
Let alone an HBCU.
Wow. I've never been so disappointed in a brother like I am this morning. But thank you, Nutty, for bringing that to our attention. W Nutty. I got to give it to you.
Yeah, I needed to let you know that Mr. Self-proclaimed founder of Blaga himself didn't even vote. So the question was asked to him, so now that you've revealed this, how do you think the Blagas are going to feel about this? How do you think the other MAGA members are going to feel about this? They're going to understand. They're going to understand. I'm like, bro, wow.
This is why this is just crazy stuff.
As the young kids would say, that's cap. Did I use it in the right context?
Yeah, you used it. It's cap. This is some sick stuff.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Kenneth, you've been destroyed. Thank you, Nutty.
Yeah,
he's been destroyed on TikTok.
That's the only information I want to give you today.
Fair enough.
Yes, so you all this shameless plug, not shameless, but this plug, please go support the Medical Collective, because Dr. Keisha and all of her colleagues, these people are the professionals when it comes to the medical field. We know Dr. Keisha is a pathologist. Like that's literally what she does. She diagnosed cancer.
Yeah.
She works in this field. So if you're going to listen to someone, stop listening to the MOD wannabe lawyers and the fake doctors out there, because if it's not in your field, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, because when you're giving quote unquote your opinion, you can cost a life. And thank you for playing that clip this morning, Zeus.
Which one?
Because I said it yesterday that when I blamed Elon Musk and Donald Trump for the loss of lives because of the fundings. Thank you for playing that clip, because all while I was on this panel yesterday, I read some of the comments talking about how nutty I am, how nutty is, and that's fine. Call me whatever you like, but the one thing you cannot say is that I get up on this panel and I lie.
Nope.
I can always say that.
Well, you talk about my handsomeness, yeah.
Again,
that's just being honest.
I don't get on this panel and lie.
But you talk about you being handsome, though, Nutty. So and I got to call balls and strikes, Nutty.
I speak the truth.
That's why you're laughing as you say that. Because when people smile when they say stuff, when they smile, you're laughing. Okay, then turn the camera on and say it with a straight face. I can say it with the straight face. Look, I'm the most handsome on TikTok. See how I did that with a straight face, bro? Yeah.
I speak the truth. Don't lie.
But say that you're the most handsome without laughing.
I'm the most handsome on this app.
Oh, you good. If I didn't know you, you'd pass. But I seen you was holding back and you had to put that camera off because you over there cracking up laughing at yourself, bro, because you know that was a lie from the pits. Woo!
Listen.
Wow. Yeah, man, help this man out. Nutty has lost his... I gotta go back and watch it. He looked me dead in my eyes and...
Listen, I'm a firm believer. I like me, so why shouldn't you? So if I don't love myself, nobody can love me.
I get that. Woo!
If I
we
cannot
got
love
some
myself,
powerful, evil, wicked stuff up in this live this morning. Nutty, knock it off.
But if I cannot love myself, who can love me?
Okay.
See.
All right, you win today. All right.
I win.
That was
I
funny.
win every day. But yes, go visit Dr. Keisha, please, because we, especially us black men, we know we have an issue with the medical profession. Yeah. But let's do better because we know better.
Fair enough.
Now let's do better. So Zeus, with that same note, thank you, my friend. I want you to do better as well. Stop calling yourself Triple H. So do better.
You know what I was going to say, but Nutty, go ahead and finish vacuuming. Go ahead, finish vacuuming because you've done enough damage up here on my show. All right.
Listen, I can admit. Listen, I'm secure in my manhood where I can say this. Listen, this is my brother Zeus. My brother Zeus is a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. However,
no, you stop. Just stop there. I don't need you to go any further.
However, he doesn't have the swag that I have. So thank you for your
silence. You MAGA.
Go ahead, Nutty. Finish vacuuming with the trash can, however that works out. Because I've never seen a trash can that vacuums, but you got it, all right. And you're not handsome.
Did I have to be called a MAGA? No.
Well, it just starts and then I just let it go. I don't have any control after that. If I wouldn't like it to do that, but listen, if you put yourself in the line of fire, it'll turn into that. Oh, he's gonna show me it. Okay. This. Okay. Oh, okay. What? Oh, okay. W Nutty. I never seen that like that before. All right, I've never seen that, but you got it. All right, W Nutty, you win.
Yeah, that way you don't have to have a dustpan.
Okay. Oh.
You can just sweep the dirt right up to the garbage can, and it will suck it right on into the bag.
Okay. I might look into getting one of those. Thank you. Yeah. Somebody said that from Tesla.
They're oh heck no, they're pretty handy. But hey, thank you for letting me up, man, and have a great day, brother.
All right. You two, ladies and gentlemen, W Nutty in the chat. Wow. Yeah, that was wild, right? Yeah, that was wild. All right. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep it going. All right. Who do we have next? Oh my goodness. Good morning, Stray Facts. Welcome.
How y'all?
We're doing all right, especially now that you're here. How have you been?
I've been doing just fine. And Nutty is my brother and I really love him. But I got to correct him real quick.
Thank you.
Kenneth actually did. First of all, you are more handsome than Nutty sometimes.
Thank you. Snake Neck. You're starting out on the high note. Awesome.
Good morning, Darlene. So I wanted to correct something though. The reason why we found out that Kenneth didn't vote was because one of his college classmates actually came up. And so he actually went to college. And so she told us that he didn't actually vote because he confessed it to her one day. And that's how we found out that he doesn't vote. So I didn't think he had been to college either. But she said he was, and she said that he had girlfriends and this, that, and third. She said, but he didn't just start this rant that he's on. He's been on that crazy tip. So this isn't anything new for him. That was refreshing.
Yeah.
But because I didn't believe he went to college. But he sure did say the reason why he didn't vote is because he was going to lose the Punani and he had gotten uninvited from the cookout, which I'm like, I didn't know that you can get your invite taken away from the cookout.
Wow. W Straight Facts. So we got more intel.
Yeah.
How low can a brother go? And that's kind of where we're at with this situation. This is some low life stuff that he's gotten himself into, and it's just sad. It's really sad, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's extremely embarrassing. And I just wanted to say this. We always talk about the hypocrisy that is the Trump administration. So you guys know that we all know that he took away the temporary protective status for 350,000 Venezuelans.
Yeah.
You guys know that he is the one who gave them that protective status, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, in his first term. So MAGA, y'all talk all that mess. He does it all the time. He takes credit for Biden's bills that he's passed. There's one that said that 11 companies, car companies are coming back. But that actually was a Biden bill that happened when he was in office, that 11 car companies came back to the United States of America. So I'm not sure why MAGA has no ability to do their own research, and we got to keep doing the work for them.
Yeah.
But it's getting a little bit tiring.
Extra, yeah, we're doing way too much of their homework and we're robbing them of the actual experience of learning, right?
Exactly. And at some point we have to actually
W.
call them.
Smitty. Yes.
Yeah, we gotta call them on that because we can't keep letting them lie. And also, I love to talk about how they lie so much. But Zeus, I wanted to play this video of Ibrahim. Now the president of Burkina Faso. His name is Ibrahim Toro, right?
Yeah.
And he's gonna tell some real. He's gonna tell some real truths on this video. It's nothing that's gonna get you in trouble. It's just a video talking about what happened and how the Africa got colonized. Do you mind if I play that?
Go for it. Please. Okay. And W. Smitty lighting up the goal for the chat. Thank you, Smitty.
All right, let's go ahead and listen to this real quick.
Leaders of nations, distinguished representatives of peoples great and small, I greet you not as a career diplomat, nor as a man bred for banquet halls and handshakes. I do not come to you speaking the rehearsed language of polished politics. I come to you as a soldier of my people, as a guardian of a wounded land, as a son of a continent that has carried the cross of the world, yet has never worn its crown. My name is Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, and today I speak not only for the 22 million souls in my nation, but for a continent whose stories have been twisted, whose pain has been ignored, and whose dignity has been repeatedly auctioned off at the altar of foreign interests.
Wow.
Africa is not Tobago. Africa is not a battlefield. Africa is not your experiment, your puppet, your warehouse of raw materials. Africa is rising not to kneel, but to stand. And today I say before this great assembly of nations, Africa will not kneel. One on the false generosity of global politics. For decades you have sent us aid with one hand while extracting our lifeblood with the other. You build wells in our villages while your corporations drain our rivers. You donate vaccines yet patent the cures. You speak of climate action yet continue to fund the very forces that burn our forests and dry our lakes.
Wow.
What kind of generosity is this? The kind that feeds the mouth but silences the voice. The kind that keeps a man alive just enough to keep him dependent. We are not blind to this hypocrisy. Let me be clear, we are not ungrateful for sincere humanitarian assistance, but we reject a global order that disguises exploitation as partnership. We reject financial institutions that lend with one hand and steal sovereignty with the other. Africa no longer wants charity. We want justice. We want control over our own destinies. To on the chains of colonialism and its modern descendants. Our wounds did not begin with us. They were inherited legacies of an empire-building madness that saw us not as humans, but cheap as cargo laboratories. My ancestors were not consulted when maps were drawn with rulers and compasses in Berlin. The borders of Burkina Faso, like those of many African nations, were not carved by our ancestors, but by men who had never stepped foot on our soil, who knew nothing about languages, our tribes, or our spirits. Today, colonialism has a new face. It wears suits, it hosts forums, it signs contracts in Geneva and Paris and Washington. But it still takes without consent. It still dictates instead of dialogues. It still silences instead of listening. If you want to talk about peace, then let's begin by unlearning the arrogance that peace is something only you can teach us. 3, on resource exploitation and the myth of development. They call us developing as if the theft of centuries did not set us back. As if the gold from our lands, the diamonds from our rivers, the oil beneath our feet did not build the very skyscrapers in which this assembly sits. Let us speak plainly. Burkina Faso is rich, Africa is rich. Rich in minerals and culture and wisdom and youth. But you have taught us to measure richness in GDP and export value. You call it development when a foreign company owns 90% of a gold mine on our land. You call it progress when your security forces guard cobalt mines, but not our children's schools. That is not progress, that is piracy with legal documents. From now on, we will define development on our own terms. Development that puts children in classrooms, not minerals on cargo ships. Development that respects the land, the people, and the soul of a nation. For sovereignty and interference. Why is it that when an African nation makes independent choices, we are called unstable? Why is it that when we seek military cooperation outside the colonial sphere, we are labeled a threat? Burkina Faso has chosen to walk a path of sovereignty that is not a threat to peace. It is a declaration of adulthood. We are no longer under your guardianship. We are no longer your junior partners in diplomacy. We are a free people. If a nation chooses partners that respect it rather than exploit it, that is not rebellion. That is wisdom. Let it be known, no foreign power will dictate the alliances of Burkina Faso. We will build relations based on mutual respect, not historical guilt or present-day intimidation.
Now, I play that because it's really funny to me how a lot of these MAGAs run around here and act as if Africans, specifically African Americans, are lower than them. They are not worth their time. But this man is telling you exactly what happened here. They have been treating Africa like they are the children, making deals without their permission, and then wondering why we are now becoming a woke, not only a United States of America, but a woke world. We are no longer asleep. And that's what the Trump administration and all of his cronies and MAGA are trying to do. They would rather we be asleep and they be able to pull the wool back over our eyes. But we can read now.
Amen. Amen.
Go ahead, Bat.
W straight fact. Let them know we can read. We can connect these dots. We know exactly what happened.
Correct.
Highway robbery.
Highway robbery, and they continuously pretend as if Africa needs us or needs the United States or needs the Western world. What did he just say? Africa is rich. I want you MAGAs to understand something. African Americans did not ask to come to this country. You guys came and got us. That makes us a lot different than anyone else that came and knocked on the door and asked to come here. So when you guys come in our face and say little stupid stuff like you need to go back to Africa, I'm going to come back at them and say, well, why did you come and get us in the first place?
That part, W straight fact. That's what you call a slam dunk history lesson. All right, for you Trump supporters. You know what? You know what's even sad though is what you just said. It's their first time hearing that. Isn't that sad? Yeah, it's their first time hearing anything like this because they don't go to school to learn. They go to school to eat lunch or take advantage of those other government programs that those schools got because they don't care about themselves. All right, W straight facts.
And that's just why I felt it was a necessity to play that video, because MAGA Christians, whatever you want to call, they will choose to believe in imaginary fairy tale instead of believing that this country was built on racism. I don't know this man and he doesn't know me, but he is echoing the things that African Americans have been saying for years in this country. But the good thing about it now is that we no longer have to explain racism in this country moving forward. We were here before Trumpism and we will be here after Trumpism. And when your grandkids or kids start talking about racism moving forward, all we have to do now is just say Trumpism.
Amen.
And walk away.
Amen.
Because there's no way that you guys can say that you guys aren't racist when you are acting in racist behavior right in our face. You chose the worst candidate ever to walk this planet because you didn't want a black woman to tell you what to do. 92% of us told y'all, and don't y'all ever forget it. Don't you ever forget it. Because listen, we as black women, we don't agree on everything. But when we come together and tell you something is wrong, this person is going to cause harm in our country, and y'all don't listen, well, you get exactly where you're at right now. It's the FAFO for me. It's the hypocrisy for me. It's the fact that you guys talked about, you guys are sending Africans away from here, deporting them, and you're black Africans, but yet you're bringing white tea Africans into this country without a problem. You guys complain about giving the immigrants that came over here roofs for their kids and food for their children, but you ain't saying a doggone thing about them Afrikaners coming over here looking like big Santa Claus. Ain't Mr. Meal.
Wow.
You no longer claim that you do not vote for the side that is the racist. Now I'm not saying that there's no racist in the Democratic side, because there is. But what I'm saying to you is the obvious racism, NAGA, BLAGA, MAGA, is the Republican, aka MAGA party. So again, you guys need to stop pretending like we asked to come here. Y'all invited us here, and now y'all treating us like we are the lower class. No, baby. We are the blueprints.
Amen.
I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it alone.
Smitty. Go ahead, Straight Facts. Go ahead and let them have it.
I'm going to see, because y'all know, this, I don't even really be up here this long, but I had to give it to y'all this morning.
Yeah.
Think about this. Think about it like this. Tiny TikTok Tim, Janae, the Bear, all y'all. Africans never went extinct. Never. Okay?
That's
Remember
interesting.
that. Remember when you try to talk about our culture and how weak or that we are, remember that when a black man procreates with any other race, that child is black. Understand? So I'm gonna end it there.
I see what you did.
You see what I did?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put, I like to do a little joke, a little
Yeah.
You gotta teach, you gotta come to them all kinds of different ways. But today was a learning experience to say that Africa is no longer asleep. You guys will no longer be able to pillage the land from over there. And the reason why we last for thousands of years is because we respect the land. We respect the culture. We respect people. We don't sycophant over a paper bill called money. And that's what makes Africa rich. And that's what's going to be the downfall of America, because y'all too greedy for $1 that a man made up. When you should be protecting the land. When you take from the land, you give back to the land. That's why we didn't take more than we needed. We were hunter-gatherers. We went and got what we needed for that period of time, and we ate it, and then we went on, because we knew that at some point we were going to take away too much from the land, and we weren't going to be able to get it back. And that's what's going on right now. I'm going to end it with that.
Yeah.
But I just want y'all to have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for the gifts. I truly appreciate it. And you can find this video on my Straight Facts page. I reposted it if you want to go ahead and grab it.
All righty then. All right, W Straight Facts in the chat. And as always, thank you for coming up here and doing what you do, telling the truth and shaming the devil, all right?
You're very welcome. Thank you again for the gifts. You guys have a great day. Stay safe.
All right, you too. You too. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, that concludes this special broadcast. Once again, we've annihilated the Trump supporters. They know that the end is near for them. They know they don't have anything to hang their hat on. They're suffering right now in all these red states as a result of the natural disasters that are occurring. Elon Musk did a number on them, and so they're just defeated. I mean, and they know this. And then this. The spending bill that's about to get passed, they're going to try to pass it. They know there's nothing in there for them. All the cuts are going to actually benefit the wealthy, and nothing for the middle class. And if you do end up getting something, it won't be much, because guess what? Those tariffs are making the cost of your groceries go through the roof. All right, so W Zeus, I cooked them again. I want to give a special thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Without you, this show wouldn't be as what it is, exciting, educational, entertaining, and engaging. Thank you all. But you know what? We also got to do one last round of booze and shame, and this goes to all of the Zeus haters out there, and they know exactly who they are. They like to screen record and cry about what I'm saying on my platform, but honestly, someone has to save this great country of ours, and that person is obviously me. All right, but if you don't like it, you know what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send them to hell one last time.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, listen up. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We're out of here. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your morning. We did it. Judy, W. Smitty. Thank you, everyone. We'll be fine. Alter ego. Come on now. You didn't like Africa when we were talking about, but now you like Africa. Come on now. Come on, alter ego. Knock it off. You're welcome. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. singers. Valerie. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. I see you out there, tacos. Cole and the day. Let's go. Somebody said they want to do drill, baby drill. You want to do drill, baby drill? W. Rick. Don't worry. We're going to keep saving this country one show at a time, and they know it. They can keep arguing about Albrego Garcia. It's not going to change anything. They can keep trying to arrest Democrat senators. It's not going to change a thing. We're never going to surrender this great country of ours to a bunch of incompetent people. All right, let's do some drill, baby, drill, and then we're going to get up out of here.
Harris's war, and we will frack, 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 and drill,
baby, drill. Shout out to Joe Biden.
Drill, baby, drill.
They're going to be drilling so deep.
We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes to
DBD.
insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack, frack. Drill, there's a frack, frack. That's the thing that only she's going to pay. You know she's going to pay you.
Nice to see ya.
Fracking very much, look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical. She can't help it. We're the end that. And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill, 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 be drilling so deep. We're gonna be full.
Can't help it.
Let's go. So much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna raise your taxes deep. Insane asylum.
You know they go crazy when I say
the low grade Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack, frack, frack.
drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Road trip. You want cheap gas, Craig? Okay, you got it. Let's go. Taco. You want some drill, baby, drill? Here it goes.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter.
They do?
They say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter?
Oh, that's a good question.
We're going to lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums.
I bet you will.
You know, they go crazy when I say
what?
The late, great Hannibal. Drill, 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 baby, drill.
It gets me. It gets me every time, right? Oh my God, W chocolate.
Lower your taxes.
You want me to lower your taxes? I'll take care of that. Kaboom, you want me to lower your taxes? Darlene, you want me to lower your taxes? Now, Negro, I'll do it. We'll do it. We're going to lower them together. Hey, hello. Can you go? Hey, hello. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannah. Here it goes. We're going to lower your taxes. Insane asylum. Could you imagine that? Here it goes. Now, how much do you owe? How much you owe? Okay, don't worry. We're going to pay off all your debt. Oh, you owe some taxes too? Don't even worry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to lower those taxes, all right? Because there's just so much liquid gold underneath our feet. And all we got to do is drill, baby, drill to get to it, if you know what I mean. And then there'll be a little fracking after that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe. And don't do nothing I wouldn't do out there in those TikTok streets.